You are Margaret Beaufort, one of the most misunderstood figures in British history. At 13, you are so physically small and underdeveloped that childbirth almost kills you. Your household prepares for the worst, but you survive, and so does your son, Henry Tudor. This moment changes everything, but the world has no idea what will follow. The birth leaves permanent damage. You will never have another child. Henry becomes your only child, your only legacy, your only future. But instead of letting you raise him, the king removes Henry from your care. You barely get to hold him before he is taken away. This is the moment that shapes you. If you ever hope to protect your son again, you must understand how power works in England. People later say you were cold, distant, or obsessed with politics, but they never lived your reality. Henry is raised far away, not by choice, but by force. He grows up in the care of powerful Welsh lords who control his movements, his education, and his safety. You send letters, you send gifts, you try everything to stay connected. But years pass where you receive no reply, and you don't know if he remembers you. Your influence as a mother is taken from you, long before history judges you for it. The Wars of the Roses tear the country apart. Kings fall. Families betray each other. Your own husband Stanley is arrested during Richard III's sudden rise. This world is brutal, unpredictable, deadly. So, you adapt. You learn who can be trusted and who lies with a smile. You learn how alliances work. You learn how decisions behind closed doors shape the fate of kingdoms. You stop being a frightened girl. You become a strategic thinker. You discover that surviving England's politics requires skill, and you have it. Henry carries royal blood. He is a Tudor. He is connected to Lancaster. He has a potential claim to the throne. This puts him in constant danger. When a Yorkist king takes control, Henry is forced to flee England. He escapes across the sea to Brittany, still a teenager, unsure if he will ever return. You watch him disappear, unsure if you will ever see him again. Years pass. You remain separated, but your determination grows stronger. You will not lose your only child. You learn to fight in a way most people never see. You don't fight with swords. You fight with alliances, with letters, with quiet conversations in dangerous rooms. On the surface, you appear loyal at court, respectful, obedient. But beneath that calm exterior, you begin working to build support for Henry's return. Here's the truth most people don't know. You act as a silent organizer for those who oppose Richard III. You build a network of discontent nobles. You connect people who would never dare speak to each other openly. You negotiate in private chambers. You gather promises from families who once despised each other. You even open communication with the Woodville family, former rivals, because you understand that this rebellion is bigger than old grudges. You coordinate messages across England. You send instructions to Henry in exile. You assess who might turn against Richard and who cannot be trusted. You walk a razor's edge. If Richard discovers your involvement, you will be executed without hesitation. But you continue because every step brings you closer to one goal: bringing Henry home. And for the first time in years, you see a path forming, a path toward a united England and a future where your son has a rightful place. You create one of the most important plans in British history. You propose that Henry marry Elizabeth of York, the daughter of the previous king. This marriage will unite the houses of Lancaster and York. It will end the Civil War. It will make Henry's claim almost unbeatable. This idea does not come from Henry. It does not come from nobles. It comes from you. You see what no one else sees, that England is tired of bloodshed and ready for unity. This marriage becomes the foundation of the Tudor Dynasty. In 1485, Henry returns to England leading an army. While he marches, your influence moves ahead of him. You raise money. You forge alliances. You secure support from nobles crucial to his success. On the battlefield at Bosworth, your husband Stanley makes a decisive choice. He turns against Richard III at the critical moment. Richard falls. Henry wins. And your years of planning become reality. Your son becomes King Henry VII. But he does not stand alone. He stands on the foundation you built. With Henry crowned, you enter a new chapter of your life. One filled with influence and respect. But with influence comes whispers. People claim you guide major decisions. They say you have strong opinions on court matters. Some believe you played a significant part in shaping Henry's marriage to Elizabeth of York. Others whisper that your presence in the royal household is powerful and unusual for a king's mother. Whether these rumors are true, exaggerated, or misinterpreted, one thing is clear. People at court believe you are a force in Tudor England, and that belief becomes part of your legacy. Beyond politics and rumors, your true legacy is clear. You stabilize a kingdom torn by civil war. You support the early structure of the Tudor government. You strengthen royal finances. You build alliances that secure peace. You protect your grandchildren and ensure the next generation survives. You lead major educational and religious projects. You create a system that future monarchs, Henry VIII, Mary I, and Elizabeth I, will build upon. Henry himself writes that he is more bound to you than to any creature living. Your son sees you not only as his mother, but as the architect of his reign. You began as a child forced into a world you did not choose, a world of danger, politics, war, and loss. But you became a strategist, a negotiator, a political mind sharp enough to reshape the monarchy. You built the alliances that put the Tudors on the throne. You laid the groundwork for England's future, and your influence is still felt in the history that followed. You are Margaret Beaufort, the woman who built the Tudor dynasty from the shadows. Your life is not just a story of survival, it is a story of strategy, determination, and unmatched intelligence. You changed the line of kings, you created a dynasty, and you shaped a nation during one of its darkest chapters. This is the untold truth of who you really were.